Welcome to the Feel Better, Be Better show. Today, Kate and Nevada will answer your questions and introduce new topics designed to help feel better and be better. These are raw conversations, but they will make a difference.
Okay, so for the intro, do you want me to do it like, on the 12th day of Christmas, we went through all this? I can't sing.
It was really good.
Yeah. No, we're not doing that crap.
I'm going to put it in there.
Either way, I did 13 anyway, so it doesn't matter. I added one more just to mess with you.
I'm still going to put it in there.
Okay, yeah. All right, so we got what? We got 13, 12 recommendations.
It's supposed to be your 12 tips of Christmas.
12 tips of Christmas to try to keep your healthy life in order.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's pretty good. I'm glad. Too bad I messed it up. Yeah, I do that.
No, it's okay. I messed it up before you. I went out of order there for a little bit.
Yeah, but nobody knew that. Nobody knew that until you said something.
I was going to leave it the way it was.
You can just tell people you're not real good at numbers. There you go. Enjoy the show. All right, so what are we doing today? We're doing what, the way to overindulge in during the holidays.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That's what we do. That's what we cover, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How to be unhealthy.
Yes, that's exactly what we do here.
No, we're going to give you 12 awesome Christmas tips. Being all festive today.
No, who decided on 12?
12 days of Christmas.
Oh, Lord. Okay, let's see.
There you go.
You know what?
12 days of Christmas, 12 tips to get you through the holidays of little things you can do to keep yourself on track and reach your goals.
Let's make sure we get this straight. So I have no idea what the 12 that you brought.
Nope.
I had no input on it whatsoever.
Nope.
And I'm going to make sure that I add one on just so it's 13, just to mess you up.
Stop it. That's so mean.
Yeah.
To be fair, you were asked, but you didn't want to put input.
I literally said surprise me.
Surprise!
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. Are you ready for number one?
Sure.
All right. Number one is find a buddy.
That sounds like number two.
Nope.
Okay.
Two people, but number one.
All right,
Number one, find a buddy. So
I've been looking my whole life.
Things are always more easy when you have some accountability. So if you have a friend or family member who is supportive of what you're doing, if you tell them ahead of time, then they can kind of help keep you on track with whatever your goals are for the holidays. So find a buddy.
Well, I think that one's kind of a couple fold on that one. So I mean, that one's almost, what you're saying is almost more of like an accountability buddy.
Yeah.
So that one's good. Pick a person right, because I mean, some people just don't care.
Or, they might be the nicest person in the world and not want to give you a hard time if you mess up because they don't want you to feel bad. Whereas you might need someone who's like, okay, so next time what can we do to make it better? And some people can't play that role.
Well, you need somebody that's going to kind of work with you. So what do you want me to do if you're not doing it? Mm-hmm. What kind of, situations are, allowable and stuff like that and everything? I mean, because the whole point is that's when it's helping you stay on track.
Yeah.
And then you have the other side of that of find a buddy that it's a lot easier when you feel like it's a lot easier to stick to something if you feel like you're letting somebody down. So if you can find a buddy that also wants to do what you're planning on doing and you do it together, you tend to reinforce each other because you don't want to be the one that stops it.
Exactly. So, I mean, just finding somebody in general to keep you accountability is great, but if they want to join in with you, it definitely elevates it.
Sure. And then overall, just having a friend is not bad. I've heard.
Friends are important.
I've heard. It's
yeah, but then they want to hang out and do stuff.
I know. Then I gotta be responsible. It messes me up all the time.
Yeah. So tip 1.5 is just don't go to parties. You won't have any problems.
Yeah. Just don't get invited. You'll be okay.
Don't have any friends.
Then you can be super healthy when you're at home doing nothing by yourself. There you go.
All right. Tip number 2, and I know you'll love this one, is to meal prep or plan ahead of time. So if you can do your grocery list for the week, have your meals planned, even if it's, cutting up vegetables for stuff maybe you can't make early ahead of time, or actually cook your meals ahead of time. Life gets crazy in general. I mean, this works great for even like sports or summertime, but holidays, if you're crazy going from a school program to running over here, you've got an office party or whatever. If you meal prep ahead of time, you can make sure those nights that you plan on trying to keep in the habit of healthier meals, you have that stuff ready. So it's not as easy to just be like, oh man, everything went to crap and I don't have time and I got to run through McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's true in life. I mean, the way our lives are now, I mean, just doing some meal preps.
Yep.
And we've talked about that. I mean, it's just so handy to be able to grab a meal and go. No, just so we're sure on this, we're not talking about like for the actual family Christmas dinner, right? We're not like gonna like pull out and be like, okay, who wants peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? Okay, and who wants,
No, but we do bring our roasted vegetable sides from our meal prep stuff to family gatherings quite a bit.
Well,
so
people ask for them though too.
they're good.
They're really good.
You can do that. We'll get to that later, but I mean, no, it's more for.
Oh, you mean I'm skipping numbers?
Yeah, you're skipping ahead.
Yeah, I found a way to mess this whole thing up.
We didn't get there yet.
Yeah.
But no, more the fact like the nights that you do have the ability to be home or you're coming home after events or whatever that maybe don't involve food, having that healthier food there so that way it's not every night of the week that you're thrown off your schedule.
Okay, well, can we plan in the future then though to like invite people over to like some? I know we don't typically do this type of stuff, but I mean, so that's why it would be all special, like this like Christmas dinner for friends and everything like that. And we can totally have like a real meal, like cooked and ready to go, and offset like the side or something like that. But then when people like, all right, guys, let's go for dinner or whatever, be like, okay, so I meal prepped this the other day, and I meal prepped this. Okay, well, who wants, just whatever?
Heat it up.
All we gotta do is heat it up and just watch the look on their face, going like, you're kidding me. And then
we're eating your leftovers.
Then we can break. We can break out like a real meal later.
It'd be worth it just to see the look on people's faces.
I would do it because me, I'm just like, oh, that would mess with people.
Yeah. All right. Tip number 3 is to keep your normal routine as much as you possibly can. Specifically, probably more so in the first part of the day because I know a lot of stuff tends to happen more in the evenings and kind of get messed up there. But if you can, wake up at the same time, go through the same routine in the morning, eat your breakfast, however you kind of normally have that scheduled, and kind of get most of your day in how you normally would, it'll help set you up for a lot more success for when you do have to kind of do other things outside of your routine. Yeah,
you're generally talking about the days that are out of your routine. So, I mean, I know there's some people that may have multiple, like full weeks off and everything like that, but some people it's just like 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
But when you have that time that's kind of, you're pulled out of your normal routine, go ahead and front load your stuff. Get them done first so then you can kind of play in the afternoon and the evening. You've kind of taken care. So do the chores first for your body and your mental health and your physical health.
Yeah, and so you might be off routine 10% instead of 80% on the day.
Exactly. Because if you always like, well, yeah, but I usually work out in the afternoons or I do that or whatever. And then next thing you know, it's, oh, we got to go over to cousin whatever's house and everything. And you're never going to get back to it. So just front load it in and get it done and knock it out and have fun.
Exactly. All right, number 5, sneak in exercise. So especially like you said, if you work out in the afternoons or the evenings after work, and all of a sudden you've got this party to go to, this kid's school program to go to, and your evenings are getting kind of jacked up, you may not be able to get in your full workout like it would normally look like, but can you park further away? Can you take the stairs? Can you do whatever to add in extra steps or movement during the day or squats or whatever, so that way you're sneaking in at least a little bit of something that is cumulative over the day.
So like when you're like, go pull out the fancy china, so you do it like one plate at a time up and down the stairs so you get your extra steps in.
You lift it up and over your head
Pretty
so you
much,
have overhead lifts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's how you can be able to work your extra workout in.
Yeah.
I like the
your lunges to the table.
Exactly, yeah. Be like, just so it looks a lot better if you have all the family there when you're doing it. So
like, what are you doing?
I like the parking away. Like you get there and you're literally like got like ice on your beer and everything, and people are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I parked like 4 blocks away in case anybody needed to get parked close. I didn't want to take the front parking spot for Aunt Ida or whatever the heck."
You're like, Shaky, it's so beautiful outside. I need the extra walk.
Yeah, just some little tips there.
That'd be me. Except for, extra walking steps would turn into running because it's too cold. So I'd be like, how fast can I get into the house?
Well, if you're running, I mean, you're probably not going to be too cold.
Exactly.
It's got to be real cold out to be running and be cold.
Yeah.
Unless you're just really out of shape.
Yeah. But again, so like with this one, you might not get your full 100% what exercise looks like in the week, but you would at least get some percentage of it versus no percentage.
Well, it's really easy just sat in the comfortable couch or the comfortable chair or whatever. Yeah. Like next thing you know, you've got 6 hours that you haven't moved. So try to find little ways to get yourself up and down and moving around.
Yeah. Or I mean, if you're lucky and it's pretty nice out, can you talk some of your family members into a quick walk around the block instead of just sitting around on the couch doing nothing and just talking, I mean, it's really easy that's comfortable and you want to do, especially after you eat a bunch of food or whatever, but can you do something that is maybe a little bit more active at your gathering? I don't know. It's possible.
Everybody grab your huge jackets, your ski masks. Let's go for a walk.
Let's go caroling.
Yeah.
Then you get the added lung capacity work in there.
Let's go caroling. Let's go caroling. Dude, it's January 5th. Let's go caroling. Do it.
They'd still get joy from it.
Yeah.
Your neighbors would love you.
I'm sure. Yes, you're going to have all your neighbors like, bro, holidays ended. Get out of here.
All right, number 6, plan your indulgences. So, a lot of times when we go to like work parties, family events, there's a lot of unhealthy food there, right? So, if you know ahead of time, like, okay, I'm going to try to eat certain foods that are better than me, but my grandma makes this awesome pie and I can't. That's okay. Plan ahead that I'm going to have a little bit of this, so you have a game plan going into what you're going to do, so you don't go in and see the whole dessert table and just have everything on it. But maybe you have a couple things that are like, no, those are things I'm really okay splurging on and having those extra calories versus no willpower because you didn't have any game plan at all going in.
Well, I think we talked about this before. I mean, don't try to fight your willpower.
Mm-hmm.
Try to work with it. So go ahead and say, I'm going to go ahead and eat this first. When I'm done with this, I can have grandma's whatever pie.
Yeah.
And then it is kind of a reward. Is it getting you to where you weren't at before? Sure, maybe you're a little more sweeter than you were, but at least you did the main thing. That main thing is the biggest thing. And the biggest thing about that is then you'll eat less of this.
Yeah. And if you know too, like, okay, I'm going in tonight, I'm going to have a piece of this pie because it's my favorite, then you at least like have parameters. Your just desire doesn't go out of control for whatever in the moment it wants to have. I mean, you've thought about it enough that you can actually rationally think through it a little bit. You're kind of tricking your body and your mind into it. And so like for example, Thanksgiving, I didn't go in. It's really hard to deny yourself too. So Thanksgiving going in, I was like, I'm not going to have any sweets because sweets are bad for me. It was more like, okay, I'm going to pick, I know the one thing I want. And so I'm going to have that. Now, yes, do things come up like your cousin making a churro cheesecake thing that I was like, oh my God, that thing looks amazing. And so then I had to have an extra piece of that. Yeah, that's going to happen and that's okay. But
that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. But I mean, if you have a game plan, then you can at least kind of accommodate yourself on it and you are less likely to go way overboard.
Mm-hmm. What was that one called again?
A churro cheesecake?
No.
Oh, plan your indulgences.
Did you like break out a thesaurus on that one?
A thesaurus? Yeah.
I love doing that one, thesaurus.
Sometimes I like to use big words to make myself sound smart.
Well, no, because you said plan your indulgences, and I was sitting there going like, man, this could get really interesting real fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, what are your things you're doing over Christmas? Yeah, we're going to need a different rating on this show to be able to do that.
Yeah. I mean, you can plan this too.
Sure. You kind of usually have to.
Yeah. In my haste, I skipped one too, so I already messed this up.
Oh, so you already missed your 12 steps, huh?
Yeah, I skipped number 4.
Uh-oh. All right, so what number did we just do?
6. So rewind, go back to number 4. Okay. It's fine. We'll just jump back and forth. Number 4 is to don't give up. So we've talked about this a lot. Like if your goal is to do something and you have, you're like, oh, I'm going to not eat sweets or whatever it might be. And you accidentally have one in a moment of lapse. You don't just go, oh, the whole day is ruined. I'll just eat whatever I want. Same thing with this. If you go to a party and you like have some snacks you didn't plan on having, that doesn't mean you just give up the whole holidays.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree, but I think you kind of got to look at it like you're going to mess up.
Yeah, exactly.
If you didn't mess up, you wouldn't be limiting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let the mess up become the habit.
Mm-hmm.
Let it be, the outlier.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, you know what? I know I said I was only going to eat one piece of pie, and that one piece of pie turned into the whole pie. But anyway, that's still one piece if you look at it from a certain perspective.
I don't think that your body stores think of it that way.
I understand, but I mean, my pieces are way bigger than your pieces. So
true.
Anyway,
True.
So just go like, yeah, that one piece was a little bigger than I meant it to be. I'm still on my plan. I'm still going to add this to. I'm still going to do these things and make sure I get them through. Yeah.
Well, and it's hard for everybody. I mean, even the people who look the healthiest out there, it's not always easy for them, and they don't not make mistakes at times.
Well, tomorrow is always
quote unquote mistakes because that's a
tomorrow is always the most productive day I've ever had.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's just hang in there. Don't discourage yourself too much that you're a failure from it. Just, okay, I had that thing and I didn't plan to. What can I do on this next meal or whatever to kind of make up for it or whatever?
You get that whole thing where it's like, well, this is my cheat day. Well, your cheat day or your cheat weekend or your cheat holiday can end up like wrecking your whole week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the biggest one for me is just focus in on some things that you can. I want to make sure I cover this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get my vegetables in, or I want to make sure I get my proteins and my vegetables in. After that, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then you'll probably be fine.
Yep. All right. Number 7, bringing a healthy snack. So if you can bring stop it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can bring you can bring a fun dish too, or you can make even fun dishes that are healthy. But if you bring a vegetable side to a party or whatever, you for sure know there's going to be vegetables there you can eat. If you bring a good quality protein dish, kind of like a main dish, there's something there good you can eat. So you've kind of set yourself up that there's at least one thing that's going to be able to be a good check mark on your list of things that you want to put on your plate. You don't just leave it all up to chance.
Oh, yes. I brought these steamed Brussels sprouts. Would anybody like the recipe?
Says the one who's like, let's bring roasted broccoli to stuff.
Yeah, but that stuff's good.
Okay, still same thing, healthy.
I know.
It can be good and healthy, and you can bring it.
Yeah,
I bring lots of stuff like that people are like, oh yeah, I'm so glad you brought the vegetable and fruit tray.
I like doing it as like a test. Like, okay, here's a bag of sugar, and here's some roasted vegetables. Go for it. And see what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just drink the bag of sugar. No, I wouldn't. All right.
All right. Number 8, eat before you go. So this is not like you have to always do that, but like if you're going to a party or something and there's absolutely nothing good there, maybe eat a small meal before you go so you eat less food when you get there.
Interesting.
So you're not eating a whole meal of unhealthy stuff.
I mean, I can think of in particular, if for some reason you're doing a kid event in particular, like maybe a kid birthday party where it's going to be pizza and cake, yeah. And you're just like, okay, I'm going to need to eat my main course there. So that way I can have a pizza and maybe a piece of cake and be just fine. As opposed to when I show up at a pizza and cake party and I'm like, okay, I'll take this pizza and I'll take, how many cakes do we have? Okay. So yeah. I got you.
Exactly. So you don't have to make it to where you eat so much that you don't eat at all or participate. But if you at least put some stuff in your body, then you don't go in starving to where you just eat everything.
Well, and people notice if you don't take anything, but people don't necessarily notice how much you eat.
Exactly.
So, I mean, and just take small bites.
Yep.
And nobody will question you.
Yep. And that kind of leads into actually 9 and 10. But
if anybody does question you and give you a hard time, just tell them you have a major illness or something like that. It's not contagious.
I'm not feeling so good tonight. So
no, I'm usually more dude, I have cancer. And they're like, you do? And I'm like, what difference is it to you what I'm eating? Get out of my world, bro. So yeah, that's the second bro I jump.
Number 9, eat until you're satisfied. So, take your time. You're at this good event, so take your time, savor the food that you're eating, pay attention to your body cues. It takes 20 minutes to tell if you're full or not, and so just take your time and enjoy it and notice when you're full and don't overdo it.
I think the biggest one on that one is usually I don't know how yours works, but usually you have this smorgasbord of plates.
Mm-hmm.
Because shockingly, we don't keep stuff in our kitchen to feed 50 people at one time. So, they're pulling from everything they can. Take the smaller plate.
Yeah.
And
you're skipping ahead on me. But go ahead.
All right. Well,
go ahead.
Just add it in. That's number 13. Then but anyway, no. But just basically do it, and you can do it to make yourself seem like you're looking out for somebody else. Be like, well, I figured, grandpa, whatever, might want that, or uncle, whatever the heck, that way they don't have to do a second trip. So you're looking out for them.
Yeah.
But you're taking a smaller plate, and then when you do finish that plate, then you can be like, okay, I'm going to talk and converse with people for a few minutes before I go get seconds.
Yes.
And you're kind of limiting your ability to do that. The other one I like to do on that kind of stuff too is I also kind of like to snack. Because I mean, if I can squeeze in some of the, usually the snacks aren't bad. Usually they have nuts sitting around, or even some guacamole and stuff like that, which is, for a snack is pretty good.
And it seems like everybody brings a veggie tray at some point. So you have carrots and broccoli out there.
I'm always eating the veggie tray like crazy. Which is funny because I actually like the vegetarian without the ranch dressing, so whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you sit there and you snack on that, then all of a sudden you can't eat as much for dinner.
Yeah.
And that's kind of goes back to get the things in that you want, so you can enjoy the few things that you know you probably shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, and like you said, there's usually so much food sitting around. It's not like you have to hoard what you want to eat or what you is really good and what you like.
Most people won't take the
Are
good
you
stuff.
craving? Yeah, you take a little bit, see where you're at. You can always go back.
Sure.
You don't have to pile it on your plate in one time
I
through.
don't think I've ever been to like a holiday dinner where they ran out of food.
Yeah, me either.
That doesn't. Usually that's the one thing you got to make sure you do not run out of.
Yep.
So
then you kind of touched on it, but number 10, use a smaller plate. So our mind, you can really trick your mind in these things because it doesn't necessarily know, like it visually can see that the plate's smaller, but it doesn't change your brain cues as far as your plate looks full to your brain. So it feels like you're eating more food, and so you can trick your brain into that you have more on your plate than what you're actually eating.
Well, they've done those studies and they've really tried to like make it to where they didn't come back. But I mean, basically we do eat to the size of the plate.
We do.
I mean, it's just weird how your body does that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you are in essence hacking your own brain hack by basically going, I'm going to go for a smaller plate. Now, one of the things I really like doing on this one. So, and this is part of my grand plan to maintain this awesomeness is I just act really immature along with all the kids there.
So you get the kid
So then
plate.
they got to put me at the kids table. Well, I'm not going to be the adult with the adult plate at the kids table with the kid plates because that's just mean. Now I'm not fitting in. All right. So I mean
you got to be cool at the kids' table.
exactly. So I mean you go in knowing that you're going to be the immature adult with all the kids roughhousing and getting in trouble and pulling hair and getting doing all those things you're not supposed to do, so that way you can be able to maintain your thinness. It's all strategy. It has nothing to do.
Nobody knew that you planned this far ahead of time with how you act.
I mean, to me, it's a whole year thing because you don't want it to look out of place. You don't want to be like all mature and together and being all adult through the year and then just try to be crazy in wintertime. That's going to look weird. So no, you got to be like immature and all that kind of stuff the whole time.
You got to be committed.
So yeah, if you're going to commit to this, you got to commit to it.
All right. Number 11, drink more water. So drinking water, first, thirst cues and hunger cues are the same. So if you drink sometimes water, it'll curb some of the hunger cues that you might have. But two, I mean, we drink a lot of our calories. And when you're at parties where there's alcohol or pop or whatever, it's really easy to drink several of those and your calories will add up really fast. Whereas if you can add in some water here and there, maybe like a glass of water every other drink, or you're having so much water before you go have one of those drinks, then you can cut down some of that.
Well, what's true during your normal time frame is true, during the holidays as well. Mm-hmm. And you should really.
I think you almost get hit harder at holidays because they have all the specialty drinks and stuff.
Oh yeah, but I mean, what I'm trying to get at though is that even regular times, you should probably be trying to hammer down about a glass about an hour before you eat. It helps your digestion, helps you from overeating, helps you from all that stuff. So I mean, nothing changes here. If you know we're gonna have dinner at like 4 o'clock-ish, grab a glass of water at 3, and you need to finish the glass of water before you start eating. And it's pretty easy. I mean, you do that, and you won't go overindulging too much.
Yep. See, now I got you on my crazy fancy words.
Well, that's because you already used it. Now I got indulgences on my brain.
Now you got to just say it all the time.
I'm doing real good filtering my indulgences right now. What else we got?
All right, last but not least, number 12, choose where you stand. So if you're going to stand right next to the snack table, you're probably going to eat a lot more snacks throughout the night. Whereas if you stand further away, you have to walk all the way over there to get them and then walk back and forth. So,
well, then you get your exercise in too. You get your steps.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's another one that mentally, when you're standing there talking to someone, the food's right there, it's so easy to just grab it and eat mindlessly. So if you put yourself not right there, then it just makes it a little harder and makes you have to think about it. It's almost like the same as the snacks that you keep in your house. It's easy to just grab a snack because you're in the moment for it, but if you have to like drive to the gas station, you're really going to need to want to have that snack for you to put that effort in.
Or DoorDash it.
Or DoorDash it, yeah. But you got to pay extra on that.
Do you DoorDash this for like a package of Skittles?
I'm not sure, but I don't think so. I think it's just restaurants.
Okay.
That would be a really expensive pack of Skittles.
Hey, when you want them, you want them.
Yeah.
So, No, and so I totally agree with you on where you stand. So that's why for me, I mean, I stand like 3 cities over and just call in. Then I
zoom into the family.
Zoom into the family thing. You're good to go. You don't have to
have
worry.
your little healthy meal that you're eating while everybody else is eating all the other stuff.
Oh, yes. My steamed broccoli is doing great. How is your cheesecake going for you, you fat ass?
That's probably why you don't get invited in person.
It's, and that's why when they show up for the dinner, I actually invite them to, and I'm like, okay, who would like this meal prepped meal? And they'll be like, I'm never coming. I'm never doing it. Yes.
What cracks me up is you say that, but some of the meals that we have, like when we had Steven and he had the machaca beef and was like, oh, this is so good, I need the recipe. So, I mean, you say that, but some of them are actually pretty good. That probably would go over pretty well.
Well,
maybe not if you had them in individual containers that we, like, heated them up one at a time. Maybe it was, like, a whole thing, but...
See, I want to do it like individuals. Okay, so this is what I meal prepped 3 weeks ago. Who would like this one?
You might die, but I think it's okay.
We'll just brush off the mold. It's not a big deal.
Survival of the fittest.
Pretty much, yeah. No, I think with Steve, I literally told him, I was like, we're good. I'll do meal preps. I'll give you a choice. You can have 1 or 2 meals. And then I asked him, and he chose the machaca beef, which is so good.
I'm impressed you let him have that one.
And then it was hilarious because he took like 1 bite and he took like a second bite and he was like, dude, this is really good. And I'm like, yeah, it's one of our healthy meal preps. And he's like, oh, okay. And then later on, hey, you get the recipe?
Yep, sure do.
Yeah, there you go, Steve.
Yep. But I mean, those are the ones that I have. I don't know if you want to add any random ones in now at the end that you thought of on the way, but I mean, they're just easy little things that you can, not always easy, but little things you can do to kind of help get you through.
I mean, I don't strategically do this, but I mean, I know it's something that I do. But I mean, going and playing with the kids is not bad, especially after. I mean,
sure.
in before too. I mean, just hopping in there.
Always count on kids to go do active things.
Yeah, making connection and all that stuff. Now that does not mean go down with the kids and play video games. But I mean, usually they're roughhousing around and having some fun. You can go hang out with them and connect. But what you're doing is you're being active and you're playing and you're having a good time. So I mean, that's not a bad one either. I mean, so just finding those little ways that you can kind of keep your activity up. But I mean, for me, that was really easy. I get tired of sitting.
Yep.
I'm kind of up and moving all the time anyway. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to go downstairs with the 8-year-old and see what we can get into. It's not my house. Yeah. Mom's got to deal with it later. Then I'm always like, dude, you want some soda? Mom will let me have it. You want some soda? I'll get you one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't do that. That's mean. But if they do come ask for me, I'm like a pushover on that one. I'm like, yeah, shoot, you're going to lose those kid teeth anyway. So, yeah.
You're a mess.
Yeah. All right, so we did the 17 things of Christmas.
Yep. Did we make a whole new song?
Do we get, yes. I don't think you want me to help you with that.
You're a better singer than me.
Sure.
I'll do the lyrics and you sing it.
Yeah, there we go.
And maybe I'll play I'm trying to think of what instrument I could probably play decently. Play the trumpet in middle school. Maybe I could pull out a little bit of trumpet.
You could do the cymbals.
Choo. I have a harmonica.
There you go.
I'm not good at it, but
a triangle.
Yeah. How about I do have a cymbal and a triangle and bongo
I was just saying you can do bongo. Bongos are hard, actually.
I'm aware, but they're cool.
Yes. I know so many guys are like, dude, I'm going to learn how to do the bongos. I'll be the coolest guy ever.
Yeah, because then you can do your palms and go. That'll be fine. And then ting.
Jeez. Okay, so you just want to be like the one-woman band. You want to get all this stuff on there so you can be able to do that thing?
And then you can sing. Or even
yeah, I'm definitely.
If you want to read it kind of like
doing that, I'm not singing.
Theatrical poem, you could do it that way.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we just need to end this thing now.
Okay.
These ideas went from being good to being like, yeah, no.
I don't know. I think everybody would want to see it.
Sure. Once. After that, I don't want to see it again. I saw it. I'm done. Yeah. All right. Good luck keeping yourself in the right mode for the holidays. Mm-hmm. Do what you can to help yourself out so that you can enjoy your time and not have to worry about your calories or whatever you're taking in.
Yep, you got it.
Thank you for watching. Kate and Nevada hope you've enjoyed this show and found it useful and empowering. If you have any questions or comments, please contact them at kinetics.com. That's KNETICX.com. They're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. And please write a review of the show. Kate and Nevada appreciate hearing the feedback, and they welcome your reviews, and your word of mouth will help others learn how to feel better and be better.